one looks better? Oh, you get it. Okay, everyone's at attendance. Let's take a seat. Here we go. Crochet Christmas gift planning. Let's go. Let's go. Let me tell you guys. Let me tell you why I am starting Christmas gift planning in August. I know it seems crazy, but here's the backstory. The year was 2023. I had just learned how to crochet in this year. Fall time, and I loved it, and I was like, oh, this is so nice, whoop, whoop, whoop. All of a sudden, December 2023 came around, and I said, oh, Christmas is a thing. I can crochet people gifts now for Christmas. Now you may be wondering, did you have enough time to make people gifts when you realized that it was December of 2023 and you wanted to make people Christmas gifts for December of 2023? No, girl, I didn't have enough time. But this is why we are starting now, and this is why I swore to myself that I was going to be amazing, that I was going to give gifts, that I was going to be Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elf. I'm tiny, so I got that part down, all in one, and we were going to have an amazing Christmas of 2024. That's why you're here today, folks. In your gift options, a few things to consider. Number one, a few things to consider. Number one, you want to consider ability. Ability? What have you already done, right? Things that you already made. So a few months of, projects and things like that, sort of a repertoire that I've built up. So I know the things that I can and cannot do. And that also is important for timing because, again, you don't want to necessarily rush. This allows us to give us time. That way, if there's a day where you don't want to crochet, you don't feel like it, you're not in the mood, you can have some time, some days, some weeks to take off and still be fully prepared, okay? Another thing you want to consider is yarn. So things that you've worked with and possibly things that you already have in your stash, okay? So all of the things that I am going to make, I've already used the yarn. I already know what type of yarn is, perfect for that project. And then there's actually some yarn that I already had in my stash to allow me to just start working on gifts. Gifts that I am making. We're doing shawls. 2 of them are going to be grannies and the rest. Oh, how many shawls am I making? I think 8. Yeah, 8 shawls. 2 of them granny. The rest are going to be the moss stitch. Again, things that I've already done. I already know how to do the moss stitch. Done granny shawls before as well. Okay. Then we have 1 granny pillow for my wonderful mother. Then we have scrunchies. I can literally make scrunchies in my sleep. It's insane. Doing 2 sets of 6 each, I think. Maybe 8. We'll see where we're at. Then we got 2 sets of ornament gifts. We got 3. I think actually this is now 5 sets. I think we're doing 5 sets of poinsettia coasters, and then we're doing 3 plush pillows that are kind of like my toys. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not a toy girly, but I love children, so of course I want to be able to make something for them. So I like to do the plush stuffed animal type of thing. Still, to me, is like home decor. Okay, so these are all the, like I said, most of these I've already done before, except for the ornaments and the poinsettia coasters. However, the ornaments, they look rather simple. I believe it's just a single crochet that you're working with and then, increases, decreases. And then you have a poinsettia coasters. Never made these specific ones, but I've made coasters before. So again, we're talking about ability, things that I know that I can push out. And these two videos I'm watching from this wonderful, wonderful creator. Go follow her because she's amazing. And so I'm going to just be, following along, and it should be pretty simple. Let's talk yarn. Very super important. The yarn that I'm going to be using, like I said before, I've used all of these yarns before. So I know accessibility, I know how they work, all of that good stuff. So we got Lion Brand 24/7 cotton yarn. This is like my yarn. Like when I get my fancy home and have my craft room and all of my yarn set up and it looks pretty and aesthetically pleasing, I promise you, you will find every single color of this yarn. I'm actually going to be using some worsted and some DK in this, and literally most of the gifts that I'm making are going to be with this yarn. Ornaments, the pillows, the scrunchies, and the coasters are all going to be made with this yarn. Then we have Hobby Lobby Soft Secret. I absolutely love Soft Secret yarn. So far, that's my blanket yarn. That's the yarn that I use to make nice blankets. I'm going to be using those for the granny shawl. Then we have Hobby Lobby Plush. That is what I will be making with the pillow, the stuffed animals. Like I said, I'm not a toy girly. I'm not an amigurumi girly. This is the best that you get. You know what I'm saying? I have a niece and two nephews. I got to do something. So, thinking about your gifts, you want to think about what yarns you either already have or what yarns you know you can get. Because here is an important factor. Important factors are ordering your yarn and supply. So that's why I say, like, if you're familiar with the yarn that you're going to use, then you kind of already know the process of ordering it, where you're going to get it from. For instance, I'm using a lot of Lion Brand 24/7 cotton. I could get that off of Amazon and Prime delivery and be good to go, right? The other aspect of that too is, let's say you're going to go to the store to get your yarn because you're like, oh, I know that Joann's always has this. Trying to find red yarn during December, girl, good luck. This is why we want to kind of get a head start, right? So we can claim up all the reds, the greens, and whatever other colors you got going on. Also, your supplies too. I'm making the pillows, for instance, so I'm going to need stuffing for those. I'm going to need ornament hooks to make the ornaments, right? So you want to give yourself time to order those things. Then you have obviously the time it takes to do the project, which is why when you're thinking about doing the gifts, think about things that you've already done and you kind of have a gauge on how long things take you. I know that a lot of the projects I can do within a week, 2 weeks time, and I can take my time. So again, there's no injury, there's no issue, we're good. Have shipping, okay? Now, if you live on a nice little cul-de-sac and your aunt has the house next to you and your grandfather's across from you and your mom and dad are on the other side, good for you, Brady Bunch. I love that. But me, on the other hand, for the rest of us free-spirited people who like to live far, far away from our family, you're going to have to think about the time it takes to ship. Now, my goal is to have everything shipped. Why? First week of December. First week of December is when I'm going to have everything shipped. Why? Couple reasons. Number one, because you want to make sure they obviously receive their gifts by Christmas. But number two, bees. Is that big enough? Let me write it bigger. Bees. You don't do that with two S's. Fees, okay? It is more expensive to ship during the holiday season for some reason. Isn't that so crazy? So you want to consider these things. This is also why starting at during summer, like I said, or during fall will take the stress off, right? And alleviate some woes. Let's discuss packaging because this is important too. Listen, when I tell you we are doing every single detail, okay, we are I told myself last year, I said, listen, Jelani, you are going to be amazing. You are going to have these Christmas gifts done on time, delivered, and you're going to be looking sexy all in the meanwhile. You make that promise to yourself right now. You say, hey, I'm going to do this and I'm going to put these gifts out and I'm going to be looking sexy all in the meanwhile. Packaging. So, what I'm going to be doing, I have these bags that I got from Amazon. The bags that if you ordered clothing and the clothing was wrapped in that bag, that's what I have. I recommend this 100%. I actually got this tip because, of course, like I said, last year I was a hot mess and I sent my projects and they ended up wet when they came to my family. So you want to get some sort of plastic bag, not necessarily like something that seals, and keep that on your gift, especially if you're making like I'm making the granny shawls, for instance. You want to make sure that they are staying nice and dry. And I actually got this tip from a quilter. I also want to consider the size of the box because you don't want to pack a big item in a small box because obviously if it's too big for the box it can just burst open and then you'll have your project all over the truck of the delivery person. Also don't want your boxes to be too big because then if something falls on them the box will dent and it can cause a hole in the box. Number two is the care instructions. It's really important because you want to make sure that you set up your friends and family for success, okay? Not everybody has handmade garments. And I mean, unless you come from a family of crafters, which is why you started crafting, a lot of people, regulars, don't know how to care for handmade items. So if you are fancy schmancy pants and you're using some good quality yarn, like you got alpaca and silk and all of this other stuff, yeah, put in some care instructions because if people are not used to that, they might not know how to care for it. Eyes, on the other hand, am using good old fashioned cotton and acrylic. So, with that being said, I don't necessarily have to worry so much so, but I will be putting care instructions. You can do this anyway. You can write it if you want to. I'm going to just make like little cards and have like nice little stickers on them. And then use instructions because I'm doing the poinsettia coasters, right? When you have the coasters, when you first get them, they look like a poinsettia. Some people might not realize that they're coasters. So I need to make sure I give them instructions on how to use them as coasters and then how to put them back in the pot as the poinsettia flower, right? Then, of course, I'm putting in a special handwritten message because, hi, it's from me. Merry Christmas. I love you. Think about you. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to put a business card, okay? Because I think that's important. I think it's important to do. Like, if you have a business, if this is something that you do for money, if you have an Etsy shop or whatever, I feel like even when you give a gift, yes, you're giving a free gift, but you want to also promote yourself and let people know, hey, if you want more things, if you want your friends and family, or your coworkers or whatever to, share my little art, here's a business card. I'm also gonna have like tissue paper when I wrap the bag. By the by, you guys are gonna see this is a 3-part series. So you guys are going to see the process of the yarn haul as well as the packaging too. So wrapped up in the plastic though, I'm also going to put cute tissue paper. And my colors for my business are rose gold and like beige color scheme. You might want to consider that too, because if you're getting boxes and things like tissue paper and all of that stuff, you might want to consider what color you're going for. That way you can kind of buy it in bulk. And really, for packaging, you could really utilize Black Friday for that, because I would say by the time Black Friday rolls around, you buy your bags and boxes and bows and everything during that time. And then the next week is when you would like ship everything off. That is, like I said, if your family lives further away. If not, then just walk over to their house, get a bag from the Dollar Tree girl, and just like keep it pushing. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned some things. You can start your Christmas gifts whenever you want to start your Christmas gifts. I'm just over the top. My vibe is I like to give myself time, because crocheting every day isn't necessarily the most. I mean, don't get me wrong, I could crochet for hours and hours and hours. But yeah, there are some days when I don't feel like it. There are some days when I get busy. And there are some days when I need a break because, again, you don't want to work yourself to injury or anything crazy like that. So, what I really like to do is plan ahead, give myself as much time as possible. That way, if I wanted to take some time off, weeks off, months off, I can and still be able to, do what I need to do. Another thing you want to consider too is you want to start the projects that take you the longest first. So I'm starting a lot of the granny shawls and the moss stitch shawls first. Number one, because they're fun, and number two, because they're going to take me the longest. Scrunchies, I could literally bang out sets of scrunchies and give it to a person that same day. So that I'm not concerned about. But things like the shawls as well as the granny pillow, those things are going to take me longer. And as I mentioned before too, there are two projects that I've never done before, which is the poinsettia coasters and the ornaments. So those two things, I definitely need to make sure I give myself enough time to study the video, to kind of play around, perfect the craft, and all of that other stuff. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Just kidding, you're going to see me 2 more times because we have more videos coming out. The next video you will see is the yarn haul, okay? The process of buying the yarn, where I got the yarn, how much yarn do I need, the colors, just everything, okay? You're going to see that. The last video you're going to see in this series is the packaging, where I'm actually packaging and I show you my process of what I do, how I ship, all of that good stuff. So me and you are going to have a lot of fun together. We're just going to be the two of us, just the bestest of friends. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Many blessings to you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.